Hey guys, I wanted to show you something today that I got in the mail. I'm very excited about. I just got fungus in the mail. And who in the world would be excited about fungus coming in the mail? Well, I am. This is a mushroom. It's called the Garden Giant mushroom. Really easy to grow. It's also called the wine cap or the Stropharia rugosa annulata. I'll show you a little picture. That's what it looks like in the black and white. It's a lot like a portobello mushroom. So if you like portobellos, this is going to be a good mushroom. You can saute it, you can grill it, mushroom burgers, put it in stews, dehydrate it, whatever you want to do. But it's great at breaking down wood chips. And I've talked to you before about the benefit of having a ton of wood chips on your property as compost. I talked to a tree trimming company. They were just down the road, and they needed a place to dump their trees, their wood chips. And I said, I got a place. It was just a few miles down the road, and so they brought me a huge truckload. So that's fantastic. I got a big mound of wood chips, and I'm going to inoculate it with this. This is the mushroom. If you don't know, the mushroom that we usually see that comes out of the ground, that's actually the fruit. That's the fruiting body. Most of the mushroom itself, the actual body of the mushroom, is down below, and it's that web, that kind of white, spidery looking stuff that goes throughout all the organic matter, organic material. So this is it. I don't know if you can see this, but this is on sawdust, and all that white material in there, that is the mycelium. That is the mushroom. So that's going to spread throughout the wood chips and inoculate the whole thing. It's going to start to break it down, and then in the spring and in the fall it's going to fruit, and that's when we'll have the harvest for the mushrooms to actually eat. I've been doing a little research on fungal dominated compost as opposed to bacterial dominated compost. It's a different composting method, and from what I've read, the fungal dominated compost is broken down with mushrooms, is far superior in the nutritional value and the mineral content and everything that you want for your plants. It does take longer though, because it doesn't get real hot and it doesn't break down real fast. It can take 1.5 to 2 years for fungal compost to be made properly. But I've got the rest of my life. I've got a huge pile of wood chips, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out there today. I'll take you with me. We're going to inoculate it, me and my daughter Ava, and in the spring that is going to be full of fungus, and it's going to start to break down, and then I can start to move those wood chips to different places, to the garden, to the food forest, to the orchard, wherever I want. I'm also going to inoculate the chicken run, because I've showed you how I've done the deep litter system of wood chips in the chicken run. So I'm going to inoculate that. That's going to help break down that and all the chicken manure, also keep the odor down. But it's also going to provide them feed, because chickens love mushrooms, and they love the mycelium underneath the ground. They'll start to pull at it, and it'll be a food source for them. So the way I look at it is, this is going to provide my family, this 2.5 pound bag is going to provide my family food for the rest of our lives in 3 different ways. And there's probably more ways you could look at it, but 3 at least. One is the actual fruiting body, right? That guy right there. When that comes up, we'll be able to eat it, harvest it, dehydrate it, whatever. It's going to be a lot of food, really nutritious and medicinal food. The second way is it is going to provide awesome compost for years to come. That compost is going to be, like I said, on the garden, on the food forest, on the orchard, and that's going to provide us food indirectly by feeding those plants and having awesome crops through that. So that's the second way it's going to feed us. The third way is, again, it's going in the chicken run. So the chickens are going to eat it. It's going to be a food source for the chickens, and chickens give us eggs and meat. Okay, so three ways that this bag is going to feed us for the rest of our life. This was about $20. I'm going to expand this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to inoculate the wood chips with a good portion of this block, and then I'm going to take some of it into a tote, and I'm going to inoculate that and basically make this into a bigger section of spawn or mycelium. That way I can use that to seed even more mycelium into different parts of the wood chips. Okay, this will only go so far, but if I can increase this, then I can inoculate more. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to include a lot of information in the description below. There's a couple documentaries, some YouTube videos, some articles about the benefits of this particular mushroom, fungal compost, and all sorts of different things. So I'll try to include all that. That way you can actually go and do your own research and see the benefits of this particular mushroom and just fungus in general. They actually connect to the roots of plants, and the mycelium will go for miles, for huge expanses, huge distances under the earth. So they'll connect to the roots of plants, and if the plant needs a certain enzyme or a certain mineral or nutrient, that network of mycelium can bring those nutrients from all over the place to that one plant. So they work wonderfully together in a garden. And there's been a lot of studies done about how crops just double, quadruple in size when they're planted with fungus. Kind of like companion planting your plants. Certain plants go really well together and they benefit one another. Certain funguses really benefit your plants. So, with that said, I don't think I missed anything. Anyways, here in a minute we're going to go out to the land, inoculate the wood chips, and we'll show you what that's like. See you in a bit. Okay guys, we're out here at the land, and here it is. Here is a huge pile of wood chips. It's best to inoculate these things in somewhat fresh wood chips, a week or two old. It'll do older stuff, but I think it's best if you can get some green in there. This was just freshly chipped about a week ago, so it's just about right. I'm going to do about 3 spots around this mound. That way I can get the spores to work all the way around it and try to get through the whole thing. So, here we go. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is, I think it wants to be close to the soil, so I've shallowed out a little space here. Instead of putting it way up top, I'll kind of do it down low. A nice thick layer of wood chips. I'm going to sprinkle it in, break it up, sprinkle it in, and then cover it, and then we'll wet it. Here's what it looks like. It's on sawdust, all that white. I hope you can see that. Alright, so we're in the chicken coop now. I'm going to pull some of this back, inoculate it down close to the soil, and hopefully it's going to get over there to the compost section too. A lot of leaf matter and everything else in there, so it should work its way throughout this whole thing and start breaking down that compost as well as the wood chips. We'll see, it's an experiment. My goose decided to come up to the phone and turn the camera off. Set it up here. I'm going to put some over here too. Now all we have to do is water it in. Alright, we're back. Like I said, I didn't use everything out there. I left some of this mycelium here to seed a bucket like this. That way I can expand how much there is, and then I can cover a lot more surface area. So all I have to do is fill this bucket with unchlorinated water. So I'm going to use my Berkey here, filtered water. Leave it for 24 hours. It's going to go anaerobic, and then you drain the water, and the oxygen is going to attack the anaerobes. It's going to basically kind of sterilize any kind of fungus that's already in there. It's going to kind of attack that and get rid of it. That way you have kind of a fresh slate in order to inoculate it with this mycelium and give it the best chance of growing. All you have to do then is mix it up, put the lid on it. It's not airtight, so fungus has to breathe just like we do. So just put the lid on it and let it sit. It's going to retain a lot of moisture, and it's just going to start to eat this and expand. Once it grows out, then I'll be able to take this and really inoculate a lot more of that pile out there. So let's start filling it up. Also, if you like this video and you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps us out, gets the word out for what we're doing, and we're going to have a lot more content in the future for you guys. See ya.